Good morning mga katribu. Welcome to another episode of Daily Tribune Straight Talk, where we discuss the issues that matter to each of us. This is
Yes.
Gigie Arcilla. Good morning, Chito.
Good morning, Gigi. I'm Chito Lozada. We are now live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
This morning's episode, we will be joined by a popular mayor of one of the
course.
cities, of one of the popular cities as well of Metro Manila. And he, I'm sure alam din ng ating mga katribo that the mayor is a basketball enthusiast since nung college pa siya. So without much ado, pakilala natin and welcome to Straight Talk, the Honorable Mayor Chito of San Juan,
Good morning,
Mayor Francis Zamora.
Welcome to Straight Talk.
Okay. Magandang umaga po.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss
Yeah,
Gigie, Sir Chito, for inviting me. I'm excited to be here. Here in your studio.
The
First time
honors
po
with
ako
us.
na-imbitahan ng Daily Tribune po dito.
And we are also honored as well for the mayor to grant our invitation. Kasi parang, do you remember, Chito, if we had a guest na mayor? Parang wala pa.
Mayor.
Parang wala pa, no?
No.
Yeah, wala pa
I
kaming...
can't remember.
Parang you were the
You're
first.
Oh,
You were
wow.
the first mayor to guest on Straight Talk. All right, so fire away, Chito. First questions. So, pakilala lang, anuhin muna natin kay Mayor. Pakilala niya yung San Juan.
San Juan.
Very briefly.
Okay. Ang San Juan po ang una-una, no? We are at the geographic center of Metro Manila. So if you look at the map of our city, we are right smack in the middle. Para sa akin po, ang pinakamahalagang pagkakakilanlan ng San Juan ay ang aming bahagi sa kasaysayan ng ating Pilipinas. No?
Pinaglabanan.
August 30, 1896 po, inatake ni Andres Bonifacio ang pinaglabanan. Specifically, yung ating tinatawag na El Deposito, the water reservoir, which was a source of water during the Spanish time. Ito po ay nagbibigay ng tubig sa iba't ibang lugar sa Kamaynilaan sapagkat ang San Juan po ay elevated. So meron hong mahabang tunnel yan all the way from Marikina River na source ng tubig. Then from Pinaglabanan, ay yan po ay pupunta sa ibang mga lungsod. So para sa akin po, that is really what San Juan is. No? And of course, ang aming patron na si San Juan Bautista, si St. John the Baptist po. That's why pag June 24,
Pag June 24,
yung
basaan.
basaan, yan po ay symbolic po sa pagbibinyag ni St. John the Baptist, sa Panginoong Hesukristo. So, ito po, para sa akin, if you ask me, ano ho bang San Juan, yan po ang talagang pinaka-significance po natin.
Pero tanungin ko, Mayor, at nabanggit nyo naman din, since you already mentioned about yung piyesta ng San Juan. Medyo meron kasing mga, may mga, alam mo yan, maraming kwento, may naiinis, may natutuwa. Yeah, oo. So, how does the LGU, control or regulate? Kasi minsan parang kahit sino na lang babasain, papuntang opisina, and then, hindi kaya lang, parang they don't spare anyone from that basaan. So, how does the LGU regulate or control or kahit paano medyo address yung kanitong concern ng mga napapadaan ng San Juan?
Sige po. Una sa lahat, nais ko lang sabihin na itong taong to, hindi po tayo nagkaroon ng basaan.
Right.
Nagkaroon po tayo ng fiesta celebration, ngunit wala hong basaan because of El Nino. So we did not have a celebration this year because of El Nino, and it was a call for water conservation. At the same time, pumanaw nga po ang aming Vice Mayor the week before. So those two reasons po ang naging basis kung bakit hindi muna tayo nag-celebrate. Noong mga nakarang taon naman po ay COVID. So nagkaroon po tayo ng one celebration during my 4 years as mayor. Isang beses lang po tayo nakapag-celebrate talaga ng basaan. Para naman po sagutin yung tanong ninyo, we have ordinances that regulate the celebration during June 24. hanggang alas 12 lang po ng tanghali yung actual na basaan at kung magbabasa nga po na hindi pwede ang maduming tubig, hindi pwede ang yung mga water bombs sa tinatawag, yung naka-plastic. No? So, we try to keep it as safe as possible for everyone. And ang symbolism po kasi talaga nito, ano, tuwing nagkakaroon po kami ng basaan, bago ho umandar yung mga fire trucks natin para umikot, binabasbasan po ng ating kaparian ang mga fire trucks. So once these fire trucks are
Holy
blessed,
water siya.
that is the symbolism po, no, na holy water po siya at bago siya umikot. So we have ordinances that regulate the celebration that we have, and of course we try to keep everyone as orderly as possible para hindi ho magkaroon ng mga untoward incidents.
So, bawal na mambasa. Minsan kasi the residents, dala-dala silang tabo, balde, and then kahit yung mga dumadaan na jeep, babasain agad.
Well, we have to strike a balance between the safety and the security of everyone, and of course, yung tradition, sapagkat tradition na po talaga to for many, many years. But of course, it's our duty to keep everyone safe also. So, bago naman po nagkakaroon ng anumang celebration, parati naman pa kami may paalala na in spite of the celebratory mood of our citizens, we also have to ensure the safety of everyone. Ayaw naman po natin na ang celebration natin ay maging dahilan pa na magkaroon ng anumang kaguluhan at meron man masaktan o mapagtuan. Ngunit lately naman po during my term, wala pa naman po kaming any untoward incidents na naranasan.
So, wag na lang tayong dumaan sa San Juan pag June 24, Chito.
But we invite you to join us kasi ano ho siya, it's a very unique experience. In fact, most people who are from other areas or even foreigners, when they experience it, you have to really be prepared to get wet because that is really the essence of the day to receive a blessing.
Magkapote tayo. So anyway, bathing suit o swimming trunks. Alright, so Chito, bago tayo pumunta doon. Actually, maraming, I did my research. So maraming pwedeng ma-share talaga yung San Juan sa ating mga viewers. Pero, umpisahan muna natin, Chito, perhaps ikaw na lang magtanong. Paano siya nakapasok ng politics? Kasi, everyone knows naman na he used to be a basketball player. I mean, dalawang taon na UAAP champion yung De La Salle. And then after that, he was almost sa PBA. So, pakwento muna natin.
But you cannot separate the mayor from the family. They are really into politics. Family niya.
Siguro, to answer your question po, no, I'll give a little background. Of course, my father, since 1978, he has served as Congressman of San Juan. During that time po, Assemblyman pang tawag sa kanya. At all the way up to 2022. So, for almost 44 years, except kapag natatapos yung 3-term allowable tenure. So, he will stop for 3 years and then come back again. So, naka 3 cycles po siya niyan. At mula po nung ako'y bata, in fact, as far back as 1984, I remember I was only 6 years old. Sumasama na ako sa kampanya. During that time, San Juan Mandaluyong pa. At bilang isang anak, no, I was doing my share of the campaigning. 1987, I remember ako yung nasa barker, nasa jeep, nagsasalita, pakiboto si Congressman Zamora. Wala pa mga tarpaulin noon. 1984 was my first campaign. 1987 was the second. So, noong 87 naman, I was 9 years old then. Kami umiikot sa city. In fact, wala pang tarpaulin noon.
Recorrida yun.
Ano yun? Gaw-gaw tsaka poster pa.
Oo, yun yung pandikit.
Yun yung uso noon eh. Gaw-gaw poster, so ikot kami. No? So doon ako na-expose sa the public service life. No? But if you ask me, did I want to be in public service during the time? My target really was to be a PBA player. So ang pangarap ko talaga ng bata ako, na umabot sa PBA. I played grade school and high school for LaSalle Green Hills. Then when I moved to college, I played for the De La Salle Green Archers. Naging bahagi po tayo ng dalawang UAP championships. I was team captain of the back-to-back championship team in 1999. And I also played in the PBL. So I played for Blue Detergent, Wellcoat Paints. Sa Wellcoat po, nanalo rin kami ng back-to-back and three-peat championships. At pagkatapos po nun, ako ay nagpa-draft sa PBA ng 2001. At ako po ay na-draft ng Santa Lucia Realtors by Coach Norman Black. I practiced with them for about 1 month. They asked me to wait for a trade. They were gonna trade someone to sign me up. Unfortunately, the trade never happened. And I went back to the PBL. Kinuha po ako ni Coach Leo Isaac. Of course, a Ginebra legend. Kinuha niya ako sa Montana Jewels, PBL team from Davao. Yung Montana Pawn Shop, if you are familiar po, no? So, Coach Leo Isaac gave me the biggest break of my basketball career. Halftime pa lang, 15 points, 15 rebounds. I was playing the best basketball of my life. I then received a call from Coach Ryan Gregorio of Pure Foods, asking me if I had an escape clause in my contract. And I asked him why, and because they wanted to sign me up for Pure Foods. So, pumasok po sa isipan ko, ito yung culmination ng buong buhay kong pinaghirapan na umabot sa
So, excited
sa PBA. Ngunit sa totoo lang po, no, hindi ko naman kasi maiwan din si Coach Leo Isaac because if not for him, I wouldn't have been given that break, and without that break, Pure Foods would not have called me. So I made a decision to stay with Coach Leo, even if there was an offer from Pure Foods, because I knew deep in my heart that it was the right thing to do. Unfortunately, 1 week after, pinalitan naman si Coach Leo bilang coach ng Montana. At yung bagong coach po ay nagdala ng mga bagong players din. So nawala po tayo sa usual rotation. So the opportunity given to me by Coach Leo was not the same anymore. After a week, I called Coach Ryan Gregorio. I asked him if the offer was still there. At sabi niya, wala na. So, sabi niya, sana kung pumirma ka last week, Pure Foods ka na. So, yan na, turning point sa buhay ko yan. That's what I wanted to share earlier, initially nung natanong niyo ako. No? So, naging turning point yan sa buhay ko because, you know, again, if I rewind that situation, I would still do the same thing. Kaya lang, kumbaga, ang tadhana, malaro, di ba? Kung alam ko lang na 1 week after, mapapalitan si Coach Leo, maybe things would have been different. So, pag nakikita kami ni Coach Leo, pag nakikita kami ni Coach Ryan, parang tinatawa na lang namin.
Parang sayang.
And the people who I was with during that time, yan, sila Don Aliado, sila James Yap, sila Paul Artadi, they all had stellar careers in the PBA. So, syempre, pinapanood ko sila, nakikita ko sila ron. No? At I felt that, no, parang ito yung bagay na hindi ko naabot sa buhay ko. But again, baka hindi ko talaga destiny. Maybe God had other plans for me. But again, no, looking back, kung ako po ay nag-PBA noon, noong 2001, kahit sabihin mong 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, malamang di rin po ako magiging mayor. Because my career path would have changed. I became a city councilor in 2007, vice mayor from 2010 to 2016, and then I became mayor in 2019. So, kung nag-PBA ako, baka hindi rin ako aabot dito.
Ka pa ngayon.
Yeah, and the irony is, yung mga nag-PBA na nabanggit ko kanina, sila naman ang kasama ko ngayon bilang konsihal. So, nakita niyo yung parang naging dynamics ng buhay po natin. No? Sometimes there are things that you want for your life, they don't happen. Tapos yung mga wala ka naman plano, biglang nangyayari. So, wala naman po talaga akong
So, ibig sabihin, Mayor, walang regrets?
Well, after realizing all of this, diba, all throughout the years, you will say to yourself, kaya naman pala, kaya pala. But yung pagiging mayor ko, sa totoo lang, Noong 2004, no, if I may share, total, nakwento na rin natin yung transition from basketball to public service. I played in the PBL until 2002. So after Montana, I played one last conference with ICTSI Lasal. Then I decided na to retire, no, very early.
How young were you then?
That was 2002, so 24 years old.
Para mag-retire, no?
Pero nagsimula na rin po ang pamilya ko noon. So during that around that time, kinasal po ako, nagkaroon na kami ng anak. I went po to New York. I studied entrepreneurship and business management in New York University. And that was in 2003. Noong 2004 naman po, na-re-involve ako sa kampanya. So in 2004, my dad was running for re-election as Congressman of San Juan. Sumama po ako ulit. And yung pagsama ko nung kampanya ng 2004 reignited yung passion ko nung bata ako. Kasi nung bata nga po ako, diba, I would campaign for him. Natigil lang talaga ako when I concentrated on studies and basketball. So 2004 became a catalyst nung na-re-involve ako sa whole public service life. Pagkatapos po ng kampanya, I spoke to my father and told him that I wanted to run for councilor in 2007. In fact, he was very hesitant. Sabi niya, naku, magulong politics, maraming siraan, maraming intriga, ganun. But ako po kasi, when I set my mind into something, I always prepare myself. So ano pong ginawa ko? First of all, I enrolled in UP. Tinapos ko po yung Masters in Public Administration. Nag-full load ako for three SEMs to finish everything. Natapos ko siya in 2006 at sinabayan ko po yun ng pag-handle ng Congressional District Office ng aking ama. So I was doing both Masters and actual
staff work for your
district office work. So yung mga social services po ng congressman, ako po nag-implement on the ground. At doon ko naman po nakilala yung mga barangay officials, city officials, of course our constituents. So I was really seeing that I was effective with what I was doing. At yung pananaw ng father ko nagbago. Kasi yung mga tao nagsasabi, kung yung anak nyo masipag, o kung yung anak nyo parating umikot sa barangay, o kung yung mga kailangan namin ilapit sa inyo, kay Francis na namin nilalapit. So,
natural yun.
naging ano siya, naging, kumaga siya na yung father ko na nagsabi na, magandang feedback sa iyo, tuloy mo lang yan. From previously, wag ka tumakbo. Siya ngayon na nagsasabi, magandang feedback. So, noong 2007, I ran for councilor of the 2nd District of San Juan. And then, after one term po, 2010 naman, tumakbo na po tayong vice mayor. So, 2 terms po tayo nag-vice mayor. In 2016, I ran for mayor. Unfortunately, I missed it by just 1,000 votes. But I didn't stop.
Try it again.
Pinagpatuloy po natin na because we experienced and we saw for ourselves, no, na during the time San Juan was really ready for change. We were fighting for change because we were coming from during that time, no, it was a 46-year dynasty. Kaya nagdesisyon po akong tumakbo ulit sapagkat nakita ko yung resulta ng halalan na 1,000 lang ang nilamang sa atin in spite of all their advantages. Incumbent mayor po sila. Of course, they had control of the local government, they had control of the barangay, they had a lot of advantages. No? I will not even be ashamed to say na syempre yung local police during that time, yung local COMELEC during that time, normal naman yan, diba? So I was up against all of that. And yet 1,000 votes lang, diba?
Against all odds.
So parang yun, very telling na po yun. It was a manifestation that people wanted someone new. They wanted change in how San Juan was being run. So yun po nag-motivate sa akin. At ito po sasabihin ko sa inyo. Yung physical and mental discipline ko as an athlete helped me. Because kung hindi matibay ang dibdib nyo at matalo kayo ng ganong heartbreaking loss, if you don't have that strong resolve in you, if you don't have that determination and perseverance,
come back.
you will give up.
Yeah.
You will say, ayoko na. Masakit tong talong pinagdaanan ko, tigil na ako. Diba? Pero yung drive ko po as an athlete, because prior to winning UAP championships, we were always losing to UST. So sa lahat ng taga-UST na nakikinig ngayon, salamat sa inyo. Kasi tuwing natatalo kami noon, as an athlete, you would bounce back. Talo ka ng 1996. Sige, you train again, compete again, 1997.
And then 1998.
Tuloy-tuloy yun eh. Hindi naman nananalo ang lahat sa first time pa lang, di ba? So you have to go through the process, so to speak. Di ba? But all of these losses built character. Then
And the hunger to succeed.
Doon mo madadevelop yung determination, perseverance, goal-orientedness. Rising from a loss, di ba? Once you lose, anong reaction mo? Do you give up? Or do you bounce back and fight another day?
Pero gano'n naman talaga. Wala namang game na puro panalo eh. Siyempre may talo, di ba? So, napaka-interesting. Nandun pa lang tayo sa sa history ni Mayor. But we will discuss more about, the best practices of San Juan and the Mayor being the head, the chair of the Metro Manila Council and also the Regional Peace and Order Council. So, mga katribo, we'll be right back after a short break.
This break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, #Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Conti's Bake Shop and Restaurant, delightfully yours. Globe, atin ang mundo. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you. And Tata Consultancy Services. A wellness show dedicated to empowering viewers with the knowledge and inspiration needed to lead a healthy lifestyle. Be Well Now, hosted by Miss Cory Quirino, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. only here at Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Parayan at talakayang showbiz, ×2, doble-doble! Kasama ang dalawa sa walang kupas na talakayan ng showbiz, Alwin Ignacio at Alex Brosas. DTT Show, tuwing Sabado at Linggo, alas 4 ng hapon, dito lang sa Diaryo Tirada ng Daily Tribune. Conversations that are masterclasses from the top honchos of various industries. Learn from their strategies and insights so you yourself can unlock your full potential. Perfect every Friday at 2 p.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Creative minds, entertainment icons, style influencers. We shine the spotlight on remarkable individuals who shape our cultural landscape. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
Hello, we're back.
Yes,
Gigie.
we're back. We're still with San Juan Mayor
San Juan
Francis
Mayor,
Zamora and siguro eto na, tanungin na natin yung best practices ng ng San Juan.
We found out the past. So
present na tayo.
Sa present na tayo.
Yeah.
You're not only the mayor, right, sa San Juan. You're also the chairman ba?
President po.
President of the Metro Manila
Manila
Council.
Council.
And chairman of the
Regional
Regional
Peace.
Peace and Order
Council.
Council. Aside from
That's
that,
a lot of tasks.
I'm also the Vice Chairman of the Regional Development Council.
RDC.
RDC naman.
So, tatlong mahalagang tungkulin po ang nasa balikat natin, separate from being mayor.
So how do you juggle that? I mean, with your hands full.
Actually, ito po, no? Bago rin po ako kasi nag-mayor, no? In 2015, I also I finished an executive education program in John F. Kennedy School of Government in Harvard University. So prior to running for mayor, I attended 4 universities. So para sa akin po kasi yung combination ng on-the-ground experience at education, very valuable yun. Because both aspects of learning are very essential in molding you as a public servant. So yung pagiging mayor po natin, bago po naman po ako tumakbo ng mayor noong 2016 and then eventually nanalo po noong 2019, nag-vice mayor po ako, nag-councilor po ako. So the experience in local government has always been there, both sa legislative branch, sa konseho, and also sa executive branch. So tayo po ay nabigyan ng pagkakataon maging presidente ng Metro Manila Council at of course, every single day, I'm very thankful to my fellow mayors for the trust that they have given me. Para maging presidente ka ng Metro Manila Council, kailangan dumaan kasi isang proseso na iboboto ka ng iyong mga kasamang mayors. At ako'y nagpapasalamat sa kanila sa tiwalang binigay po nila. Aside from that, yung vice chairman po ng Regional Development Council ay kaakibat din po ng ating tungkulin as MMC President. And ang pagiging chairman naman po ng Regional Peace and Order Council ay appointment from the President. So ako'y nagpapasalamat siyempre sa ating mahal na Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Sa tiwalang binigay po sa atin as RPOC Chairman. So if you ask me how I juggle it, honestly, I can tell the whole world that I enjoy what I'm doing. So pag passionate ka sa ginagawa mo, hindi siya nagiging trabaho, hindi siya nagiging tungkulin. It is a passion, meaning every single day you look forward to waking up and doing the same thing. So, ang San Juan naman po, ako'y naniniwala at dahil na rin po sa tiwalang binigay sa atin, malaki na po ang pinagbago the last 4.5 years. Our people are experiencing the makabagong San Juan that we promised. So, yung template po ng makabagong San Juan ay na-set up po natin. So it's really a change in governance. So yung paraan ng pamamalakad, binago natin. Yung paraan kung saan ng isang mayor ay nakikiisa sa kanyang lungsod ay binago natin. So when we saw that this template was working, I felt that it was something that we could also share or implement across all other LGUs in Metro Manila. So I was coming in with the experience, although 1 term pa lang po akong mayor noon, pero pandemic time yun eh. At pag kayo masanay na maging mayor during a pandemic, at matapos yung pandemic, you realize mas madali na ang buhay. Kasi nasanay ka dun sa 3 years na crisis eh.
Restricted.
And during that time po, let me share also, that San Juan was the site of the first local transmission of COVID in the Philippines. So isipin ninyo, Green Hills.
Sa Green Hills.
Doon po ang first confirmed local transmission. Even prior to President Duterte declaring the ECQ, sinut down na po namin yung shopping center because na-trace po namin na si patient number 5 na unang case ng local transmission, siya po ay taga-ibang lungsod. In fact, outside of Metro Manila po ang residence niya, but would frequent Green Hills. Siya po ang unang local transmission natin. At umiikot ho siya madalas sa shopping center. Eventually, na-confine po sa Cardinal Santos Medical Center. In a few days, namatay. And sumunod po yung asawa niya. So, yun po ang naging pagsubok sa amin. At we had to shut down the shopping center. We had to implement our own lockdowns within the barangays. At nagtuloy-tuloy na po doon. Because of that, yun din naman po nag-motivate sa amin na manguna sa pagbabakuna. Because pinagdaanan nga po namin ito, it was, again, a motivation to be the first to go back to normalcy. Kaya noong 2021 po, tayo binigyan ng pagkilala ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa kanyang State of the Nation address. We were recognized, our efforts were recognized. San Juan was the first to achieve herd immunity in the country. So we remain to be number 1 in vaccination in terms of vaccinating our target population. So yan po ay naging pagsubok din sa mga mayors ng panahon ng pandemya. We also received the Galing Po Award for Best Pandemic Response. Pati po yung DALG, tayo po hinirang din with the best education program during the time of COVID. So, nung nag-excel po tayo during COVID at bumalik tayo sa normal, you will realize madali na yung governance. Kasi dumaan ka sa mahirap na...
Pandemic mayor pala si Mayor Francis.
So itong tasking ngayon as Metro Manila Council President, of course, yung mga mayors din na kasama natin, most of them were pandemic mayors also. So magkakasama kami all throughout COVID-19. We would be together making decisions collectively. At we built a strong relationship among the group. We were headed by MMDA Chairman Benher Abalos, na ngayon ay DLG Secretary. Prior to that po, si Chairman Danny Lim ang kasama po natin. So, yung bond, no? Mahalaga po talaga yung bond na na-create namin mga mayor sa isa't isa. Doon po nagkakaroon na ng decision ng Metro Manila na one voice, no? Even if there would be a little, should we say, there may be differences sa pananaw or sa mga decisions, nagkakasundo na magkaroon ng isang boses o isang decision ng Metro Manila.
Oo naman.
Kaya
dapat one voice.
yung culture na yon ang nadala natin up to now. Kaya nga po itong single ticketing system natin na...
anong mainit na issue yan?
Oo. Tanungin natin si Mayor tungkol dyan.
Yung single ticketing
Bakit
system...
hindi pa na-implement to?
Okay, yung single ticketing system po, 28 years in the making ho yan. No? Because it's really very hard, no, to get all 17 LGUs to have a common stand. So dito po, through the Metro Manila Traffic Code, which has been signed already early this year, meron na po tayong standard 20 traffic violations na merong uniformed fines. No? Ang prosesong pinagdaanan po ay integration with the LTO, first upgrading ng mga IT systems ng LGU, distribution po ng mga handheld devices. So we're now in the final stages. Ano na lang po ito? Finalize na lang po natin yung bond sa ating digital payment platforms. No? When I say bond, para siyang security deposit. There has to be a bond po kasi dahil yung mga violations po papasok sa mga digital payment platforms. Hindi naman directly binabayad sa amin ho yan. Because the single ticketing system allows for people to pay their violations anywhere in the country. Hindi na po kukumpiskay na inyong lisensya, hindi nyo na kailangan pumunta pa sa City Hall para magbayad because if you are caught for traffic violation, you can pay through GCash, through PayMaya.
No contact, di ba?
Ay, iba ho yan.
Iba rin yun.
Iba ho yan. The single ticketing system is standardizing po yung traffic violations at yung amount ng fines. Yung NCAP naman, yung no contact apprehension, iba naman po yan. Yun naman po ang paghuli using cameras po.
Right.
Yun naman yung right now po, naka-hold ho yan because may TRO po from the Supreme Court.
Yeah, but the whole Metro Manila Council, all the mayors are, in favor of that one.
Yung NCAP, hindi ho lahat naka-enroll pa. Pero doon po sa single ticketing system, lahat po ay mag-implement.
So, when do we expect yung single ticketing system?
We're just finalizing po the bond with the digital payment platforms. In fact, last week we had the Metro Manila Council meeting and hinihintay lang po namin yung finalization po ng amount ng bond.
And then, paano siya mag-work, together with, if ma-push through tong NCAP?
Okay. Yung with or without NCAP, meron po tayong single ticketing
So,
system.
it's a standalone?
Yes, but if there will be cities that will implement NCAP, mag-incorporate po siya into the Metro Manila Traffic Code.
Alright.
At ang NCAP naman po kasi, PPP po yung Public-Private Partnership, meaning the LGUs do not spend for that. You have a third party coming in. Sila po ang nag-invest dun sa mga cameras, dun sa equipment, sa training. So wala pong nilalabas na pondo ang LGU.
Pero personally, Mayor, are you in favor of this NCAP?
Para sa akin po, no, ito, I will give you a very, very concrete example. No? Sa ibang bansa, at ako naranasan ko po ito mismo. No? Minsan po kaming bumiyahe ng pamilya ko sa ibang bansa. At yung tour guide po namin, na siya rin po nagmamaneho ng van na sinasakyan namin. Kahit na wala kami nakakasalubong po na ibang kotse sa kalye, nananatili siya nagda-drive within speed limit. And it's because, siya na rin po nagsabi, all over the highways in
May
that
camera.
country, may camera na nagbabantay. At pag sila nga po ay mahuli, of course, papasok yan sa record niya as a driver, may epekto yan sa driver's license niya, at magbabayad siya ng multa. So ano pong ibig ko sabihin? It keeps you disciplined. Dahil kahit walang physical traffic enforcer, alam mo na you have to follow the traffic rules. You have to drive within speed limit. You cannot violate yung traffic regulations. No? At yun po ang gusto nating ma-instill dito po sa Metro Manila. Na kahit walang enforcer, kahit 3 a.m. ka na at mag-isa ka lang sa Ortigas Avenue, you will still stop when it's red. Yun po eh. At wala naman po, ito personally po, no, wala naman dapat ikatakot ang mamamayan kung hindi naman sila mag-violate. Meaning, you will only be fined if you violate a traffic regulation.
Nagmumula ng disgrasya usually.
Pag wala kasi enforcer, ang tendency po, ang tendency ng ilang motorista, mag-beat the red light, mag-violate ng anumang regulation. So, para sa akin po, NCAP instills discipline. At kung meron mang issues regarding NCAP, yun po sanang ma-resolve. But the essence really, for me, it's very good.
So, yung it's still with the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court po yung NCAP, yung single ticketing system naman, finalization na lang po with the digital payment platforms.
Walang legal issue yun.
Wala naman pong legal issue yung single ticketing system. Opo, yes.
Okay.
Yung ano mo naman, Mayor, tanungin ka namin about, kasi yung feet ng San Juan is 100% drug-free ang mga barangays.
Opo,
There's something to be proud
ginawaran din po tayo ng pagkilala mismo ng PIDEA NCR. We're the first city in Metro Manila wherein 100% of our barangays are drug-cleared. The last 3 barangays were drug-cleared a few months ago. So previously, 18 out of 21 po drug-cleared. Then the last 3 nitong start of the year. So all barangays have been drug-cleared. At the next step really is para maging drug-cleared city po kami. So ano bang kaibahan ng 100% ng barangays drug-cleared versus a drug-cleared city? It's the sustainability. Hindi ibig sabihin na 100% drug-cleared na ang mga barangays ay drug-cleared city ka na. Because you have to sustain that. Kailangan mapanatili mo na drug-cleared nga ang lahat ng barangay. So, paano nyo ginagawa yan? You constantly monitor yung mga P-woods, so yung persons who use drugs. Merong mga random drug tests yan sa kanila. Titingnan natin ang implementation ng BADAC, yung Barangay Anti-Drug Abuse Council. Are they implementing the projects, programs of anti-drug abuse in their barangays? You have to have a balay silangan, which is your drug reformation center. Tinuturuan sila about illegal drugs, merong livelihood opportunities sa kanila, reintegration back into the community. So habol po natin dito, yung mga P-woods natin, may balik sa komunidad as responsible citizens.
Tanong ko lang, Mayor. So, yung mga dumaan ng balay silangan, since it's a reformation center, na-reintegrate na sila? I mean, are they productive now? So, nabigyan ng livelihood?
Slowly po, yes. So, the objective really is itong mga drug users, bibigyan natin sila ng proper training and indoctrination para ho ma-reintegrate sila sa community. tandaan po natin, hindi naman dahil drug user ka ay menace to society
Yeah,
ka.
but then yung stigma eh.
Oh, correct.
There's a
That's why you
stigma.
have to go through that process. You have to reindoctrinate them. You have to change their lifestyle. You have to give them livelihood opportunities, no? Para tuluyan na nilang makalimutan yung buhay na nagdodroga at ang maging objective nila ay how to be responsible citizens. At sports is a factor. Kaya nga po yung...
So meaning, Mayor, you monitor talaga
yes.
each and every one.
Yes, meron po tayong tracking kung sino po ang ating mga P-Woods na tinatawag. At ako po, I may share also, so personal po tayong sumasama sa mga drug raid. So many times I have joined the NCRPO chief. During the time, si General Elizar, yung NCRPO chief pa siya. Meron kaming renade na marijuana laboratory, sumasama ako dyan. Sinasamaan ko yung mga nagiging hepe ko, no? Yung mga nagiging chief of police ko. I would go with them pag nagre-raid ng mga sa Shabu, bypass operations. I join them because it's my way of showing my community na ang mayor ng San Juan seryoso sa laban sa droga. No? Pag nakita nila ang mayor nangunguna sa ganitong mga drug raid, no? It gives them that confidence na, oh, mayor is really dead set on fighting illegal drugs.
How about, Mayor, yung kasi ito yung mga drug users. How about yung pag-curb ng proliferation, yung pagbibenta?
Of course, we have laws that are attuned to that, no? So kapag meron naman pong nahuhuli, of course, in coordination with the prosecutor's office, ang police at ang prosecutor mahalaga po sa prosesong ito eh. At of course, dadaan yan sa mga korte natin. So part really of cleaning up a city from drugs is the implementation of national and local laws. So syempre, meron po tayong mga informant, no? Meron tayong mga on the ground na mga sources. Sila po ang nagbibigay ng informasyon sa atin na dito sa lugar na ito ang drug dealer, ito ang proseso. So dumadaan po yan sa surveillance, dumadaan po yan sa background checking. So I'm privy to that because I'm also the chairman of the City Anti-Drug Abuse Council. And of course, now as Regional Police and Order Council Chairman, we have stronger ties with the PIDEA, with the PNP. So ito po yung mga national agencies na mahalaga to implement this.
Paano niyo po ito, Mayor, na share sa ibang mga LGUs? Kasi given that, it's a fact na
Sa ibang
rampant na naman ng illegal drugs sa panahon ngayon.
areas.
Yeah, so being the chair of the RPOC or MMC, paano niyo na-share yon na maging 100% drug-free rin ang kanilang mga barangays?
Ang kultura po na gusto ko ma-inculcate dito po sa Metro Manila Council at pati po sa Regional Peace Order Council, una-una, walang masamang kumopya. No? It's not bad to copy, especially if what you're copying are best practices. No? During the time of COVID, again, I would always refer back to COVID because no one can ever say they were prepared for COVID. No? Wala namang manual o libro na magsasabi, ito ang dapat gawin kapag may COVID-19. So we really learned on the ground, day to day. No? At doon namin nakita, alin ba sa mga prosesong ito ang makakatulong. So what am I trying to say? What we do as best practices individually, we share amongst each other. At yun po naging culture ng COVID na hanggang ngayon po ay nadadala namin. So ibig sabihin, pag meron pong best practices ang ibang city, we share that, we copy it. We have regular RPOC meetings, we have regular MMC meetings. During those meetings, pinapapresent po natin yung mga merong magandang mga ginagawa. I will share with you yung 3-minute response ng Quezon City Police. Yeah, in fairness, talagang 3 minutes po wherever they are. Nakaspread out yung mga police sila in certain radius na yung response time nila ipapasok within 3 minutes. No? So,
Ganun na rin po ngayon sa San
we are now doing that because nakita namin paano siya ginawa sa QC. And during our Metro Manila Council meetings and RPOC meetings, all of these best practices are shared. At we encourage everyone to follow. Kasi wala naman masamang kopya.
Oo. Hindi naman yun sa classroom. No
Wag lang sa classroom
No
makakopya.
cheating.
No
No
cheating.
cheating.
That was
Very,
engaging.
ang ganda, no? Ang ganda. I'm nakakatuwa na, the LGUs, they have, this council and, they share best practices. Tama nga si Mayor.
Tsaka if I may share also, no?
Okay.
Nothing beats being on the ground. So, for you to be very effective, kailangan you're on the ground. Nakikita mo, nararanasan mo, naaamoy mo yung sitwasyon on the ground. Because it will give you a very good perspective of what you need to do.
Yeah.
And part of my tasking really is also to build strong relationships with my fellow mayors. Pag maganda po ang relasyon natin sa ating mga kapwa mayors, mas madali ang communication. Hindi lang yon, mas madali na may bahagi sa isa't isa yung mga pwede nating gawin. No? So we learn from each other, we exchange notes.
And coordination,
Correct,
you
yes,
need something, from another
Tama ho,
city.
yes.
Correct, yeah.
And through resolutions, halimbawa, merong Regional Peaceonary Council Resolution, Metro Manila Council Resolution, yun yung nagiging guide namin.
Yeah.
No? Ito yung framework na, in certain issues, ito yung susundin natin framework. So we communicate that with the mayors. Sila naman na mag-implement sa mga LGU po nila.
How often does the RPOC or MMC meet?
Yung MMC po, we meet as needed. So wala naman po talagang nakaset na once a month lang or sometimes we meet twice a month if needed. Minsan pwede naman through Zoom meetings or may cluster meetings. Not necessarily the mayor always. Minsan pwedeng yung city health officer lang, minsan pwedeng yung city admin lang. Depende po sa issue na kailangan i-address. Yung RPOC naman po, the standard is a quarterly meeting. But then again, anytime we will need to meet regarding certain issues, we can. In fact, just the other night, I was with the Chief PNP General Acorda, I was with the NCRPO Chief General Nartates, the district directors of Metro Manila, because we have to plan how to peacefully execute yung barangay and SK elections. Of course, yung undas, padating na rin. No? Papasko, padating na rin po. No?
Iba talaga pag bata ang mayor. I mean,
Very energetic.
hindi kagad mapapagod, okay lang mapuyat. So, yun yung advantage of
Yeah, we
him.
would have hope. Mayor,
Hindi,
na,
let's
we
ask for
could-
the mayor about the price cap.
Okay.
Mm.
Sige po. So, ang EO 39 po ni Pangulong Marcos sets the price of regular milled rice at 41 pesos per kilo and well-milled rice at 45 pesos per kilo. So, yan naman po ay naipapatupad natin. And,
Wala naman pong violators.
sa San Juan po, so far, wala naman po kaming nahuhuli. At base naman po sa ating pakikipag-ugnayan sa mga mayors, compliant din naman po sa kanilang mga lungsod. Kami po sa San Juan and most other cities also, nag-release na po ng 15,000 pesos from the DSWD. Yun po yung cash assistance po no, para
Sa
tulungan
mga
yung mga
retailers.
rice retailers. Kami po sa San Juan on our own. Nag-release din po kami ng 5,000 pesos na additional
On top of-
subsidy on top
On
of the
top of the
15,000.
15.
Apo. And I personally spoke to the private management of our market. Ang market po kasi namin hindi po yan local government run. It's privately managed. No? So kinausap po yung private management team at sabi ko na ako'y nakikiusap na bigyan po ng isang buwang libreng renta yung rice retailers natin. So pumayag naman po siya. So depending on the size of their stalls, 1 month rent would range from 7 up to 17,000 pesos. So may 15,000 pesos sila sa national government, may 5,000 pesos from the LGU, as may 1 month
Tapos
free rent
free
po
pa
sila.
yung.
Free ba yan o dinifer lang yun?
Hindi ko nila babayaran yung isang buwan.
Samban.
Only for rice retailers. But I would
So
like
how many rice retailers?
48 po in San Juan. 48. Tapos I would like to reiterate po no that all of this will be temporary. Hindi naman po ito mahabaan, no? Panandalian lang po ito sapagkat mismong ang Department of Trade and Industry at ang Department of Agriculture mga nagsabi na lalo na itong katapusan po ng Setyembre, simula ng Oktubre, ay panahon na po ng ani. So harvest season na, and the
Medyo
supply
normalize na
will change.
Actually,
Dadami
they
na.
extended pa nga the price cap kasi una 3 weeks, but then in-extend pa nila.
Oh. And if you there are two sides of the story. Siyempre yung side po ng mga consumers, masaya po sila na merong bigas na mabibili ng mura. Sa side naman po ng ating retailers, of course, ang concern nila is nakabili sila ng bigas na mas mataas, ngunit kinakailangan ibenta ng mababa. No? But again, that is where the whole of nation approach comes in, yung whole of nation approach or whole of government approach, because yung mga pwede nating itulong sa retailers, halimbawa itong assistance from the DSWD, assistance sa LGU, once you combine all of these, it will help address their issues.
Kaya lang kulang kulang daw I mean, 15,000 is not enough So how do you, monitoring the,
Kami ho kasi sa San Juan, nakita namin yung submission nila ng inventory. So the DTI and DA asked the markets or the LGUs to submit yung inventory po ng rice retailers. No? So gaano karami ang supply ng
Stock
bigas,
nila.
magkano ito nabili, at magkano yung sinasabing lugi. No? And then the national government set a 15,000 peso cap. But again, LGUs can also intervene in any way. No? So, hindi naman po kasi pare-parehas ang dami ng retailers namin, hindi rin pare-parehas po ang dami ng supply ng bigas. No? So,
How do you-
LGUs can now come in on their own to augment.
Pero how do you make sure? Kasi ang minomonitor lang naman ng government is, the compliance to the price cap. How do you make sure na, kasi, let's face it, yung isang retailer, para makabawi, pwedeng haluan yung bigas para mapababa yung presyo. Adulterating it. How do you make sure that they don't do that?
Okay, so kailangan po ang ating market masters ay nagmamonitor the ground. Meron din po tayong
there's a market
meron po tayong local
masters.
price control coordinating council through an ordinance. They are tasked to, number one, ensure po yung suggested retail price. Next, to ensure po na tama yung commodities na binibenta. So nung nandun nga po kami ni Secretary Pascual ng DTI, randomly he was checking yung 41 pesos, 45 pesos. No?
Yung quality.
Chine-check niya yung quality. Kasi tama ho kayo, posibleng haluan. No? At all of this will be grounds for revocation of their permits kapag mahuli po natin na nilinin lang nila po ang ating consumers.
Kasi kawawa naman ang ating consumers, bumababa yung nutritional value if i-adulterate nga naman. Mayor, ang napaka wala talaga tayong walang lal. Ang dami pwedeng i-share. But then we have to come to, we have to. So, parting words.
Okay.
Parting words po from you.
First of all, maraming salamat po sa Daily Tribune, Sir Chito,
Mayor.
Ma'am Gigie, maraming salamat sa pagkakataon ito, sa lahat po ng nanonood. Thank you for watching. I hope that I was able to share a little about San Juan governance and Metro Manila governance as well. And rest assured that your mayor in San Juan, and I know that all mayors in the country, we all do our very best to govern our people. Magtiwala po tayo sa ating pamahalaan. Ginagawa po natin ang lahat ng ating makakaya upang gampanan ng ating tungkulin na maglingkod na maayos. So, especially here in Metro Manila, we have been tasked as the president of the Metro Manila Council. So, a lot of issues are being faced now by mayors, by the council itself. So, rest assured that we will address all of these issues and concerns. Kinakailangan po talaga kasi, ito, base na rin po sa aking karanasan, the local government really cannot do it alone. So malaking bagay po talaga na meron tayong good coordination with the national government. Kinakailangan din meron tayong private sector support, yung mga civil society organizations, yung mga foundations. Malaking tulong po yan to augment whatever the local government and the national government is able to do. So you have to be able to rally all of these sectors together to be able to uplift the overall governance of our country, of our cities, and of course of Metro Manila.
Correct. Would we ever see you in a higher position in the horizon?
Meron ba? I mean, any plans? Are you looking at? Di pa kasi second term pa lang yun.
May one term pa po tayo as
Yeah.
mayor. So,
Yeah. But then, what if today is, ito, last term? I mean, is there any...
well, ako naman po, number one, like what I mentioned earlier, I enjoy what I'm doing. So, yung mga tungkulin natin bilang mayor ay bagay na para sa akin, hindi niyo ako kailangang gasolinahan, hindi niyo ako kailangan susiyan at paandarin because on my own, I really enjoy what
Tsaka
I'm doing.
mahirap, Mayor, kung gagasolinahan ka. Kasi mahal ang gasolina ngayon. So, there you have it, mga katribo. San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora.
Okay.
Thank you po.
Thank you so much. For,
We're not done yet.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
So,
you po.
Mayor,
Maybe we can
kunin ko
invite
yung
you
number mo
again.
din.
This break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Conti's Bake Shop and Restaurant, delightfully yours. Globe, atin ang mundo. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you. And Tata Consultancy Services. A wellness show dedicated to empowering viewers with knowledge and inspiration needed to lead a healthy lifestyle. Be Well Now, hosted by Miss Cory Crino, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. only here at Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Parayan at talakayang showbiz, times 2, doble-doble! Kasama ang dalawa sa walang kupas na talakayan ng showbiz, Alwin Ignacio at Alex Brosas. DTT Show, tuwing Sabado at Linggo, alas 4 ng hapon, dito lang sa Diaryo Tirada ng Daily Tribune. Conversations that are masterclasses from the top honchos of various industries. Learn from their strategies and insights so you yourself can unlock your full potential. Perfect every Friday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Creative minds, entertainment icons, style influencers. We shine the spotlight on remarkable individuals who shape our cultural landscape. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. This break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Conti's Bake Shop and Restaurant, delightfully yours. Globe, atin ang mundo. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you. And Tata Consultancy Services. A wellness show dedicated to empowering viewers with knowledge and inspiration needed to lead a healthy lifestyle. Be Well Now, hosted by Miss Cory Crino, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. only here at Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Parayan at talakayang showbiz, times 2, doble-doble! Kasama ang dalawa sa walang kupas na talakayan ng showbiz, Alwin Ignacio at Alex Brosas. DTT Show, tuwing Sabado at Linggo, alas 4 ng hapon, dito lang sa Diaryo Tirada ng Daily Tribune. Conversations that are masterclasses from the top honchos of various industries. Learn from their strategies and insights so you yourself can unlock your full potential. Perfect every Friday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Creative minds, entertainment icons, style influencers. We shine the spotlight on remarkable individuals who shape our cultural landscape. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. This break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Conti's Bake Shop and Restaurant, delightfully yours. Globe, atin ang mundo. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you. And Tata Consultancy Services. A wellness show dedicated to empowering viewers with the knowledge and inspiration needed to lead a healthy lifestyle. Be Well Now, hosted by Miss Cory Crino, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. only here at Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Arayan at talakayang showbiz, times 2, doble-doble! Kasama ang dalawa sa walang kupas na talakera ng showbiz, Alwin Ignacio at Alex Brosas. DTT Show, tuwing Sabado at Linggo, alas 4 ng hapon, dito lang sa Diaryo Tirada ng Daily Tribune. Conversations that are masterclasses from the top honchos of various industries. Learn from their strategies and insights so you yourself can unlock your full potential. Perfect every Friday at 2 p.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Creative minds, entertainment icons, style influencers. We shine the spotlight on remarkable individuals who shape our cultural landscape. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. This break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Conti's Bake Shop and Restaurant, delightfully yours. Globe, atin ang mundo. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you. And Tata Consultancy Services. A wellness show dedicated to empowering viewers with the knowledge and inspiration needed to lead a healthy lifestyle. Be Well Now, hosted by Miss Cory Crino, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. only here at Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Arayan at talakayang showbiz, times 2, doble-doble! Kasama ang dalawa sa walang kupas na talakera ng showbiz, Alwin Ignacio at Alex Brosas. DTT Show, tuwing Sabado at Linggo, alas 4 ng hapon, dito lang sa Diaryo Tirada ng Daily Tribune. Conversations that are masterclasses from the top honchos of various industries. Learn from their strategies and insights so you yourself can unlock your full potential. Perfect every Friday at 2 p.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Creative minds, entertainment icons, style influencers. We shine the spotlight on remarkable individuals who shape our cultural landscape. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. This break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Conti's Bake Shop and Restaurant, delightfully yours. Globe, atin ang mundo. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you. And Tata Consultancy Services. A wellness show dedicated to empowering viewers with the knowledge and inspiration needed to lead a healthy lifestyle. Be Well Now, hosted by Miss Cory Crino, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. only here at Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Arayan at talakayang showbiz, times 2, doble-doble! Kasama ang dalawa sa walang kupas na talakera ng showbiz, Alwin Ignacio at Alex Brosas. DTT Show, tuwing Sabado at Linggo, alas 4 ng hapon, dito lang sa Diaryo Tirada ng Daily Tribune. Conversations that are masterclasses from the top honchos of various industries. Learn from their strategies and insights so you yourself can unlock your full potential. Perfect every Friday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Creative minds, entertainment icons, style influencers. We shine the spotlight on remarkable individuals who shape our cultural landscape. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. This break is brought to you by Hangkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Conti's Bake Shop and Restaurant, delightfully yours. Globe, atin ang mundo. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you. And Tata Consultancy Services. A wellness show dedicated to empowering viewers with the knowledge and inspiration needed to lead a healthy lifestyle. Be Well Now, hosted by Miss Cory Crino, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. only here at Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Parayan at talakayang showbiz, times 2, doble-doble! Kasama ang dalawa sa walang kupas na talakayan ng showbiz, Alwin Ignacio at Alex Brosas. DTT Show, tuwing Sabado at Linggo, alas 4 ng hapon, dito lang sa Diaryo Tirada ng Daily Tribune. Conversations that are masterclasses from the top honchos of various industries. Learn from their strategies and insights so you yourself can unlock your full potential. Perfect every Friday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Creative minds, entertainment icons, style influencers. We shine the spotlight on remarkable individuals who shape our cultural landscape. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
Welcome back, mga katibo. So that has been Mayor Francis Zamora of San Juan, but we have another equally important guest with us now in the person of Asec Mico Clavano. He is the assistant secretary. He is assistant secretary and the spokesperson of the Department of Justice. Welcome to Straight Talk, Asec Mico Clavano.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for having me. Thank you to the Tribune family.
Yeah.
You're part of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you to myself.
Asec Clavano, by the way, is also a part of
Yes.
the Daily Tribune family
columnist.
because he's a columnist whose piece comes out every Wednesday. All right. So, diretso na tayo sa
Oo,
mga
let's go
interesting.
right in
So,
sa
ito yung mga
mga
napapanahong issues. So, we ask Asec Mico about red tagging. Ito yung medyo maraming opinion red tagging. Wala naman, there's no such thing as red tagging. Wala naman batas na nagbabawal dyan. And some would say na, I mean, of course, those who are being red tagged are the ones who, cry foul. So, ano po ang stand ng ating government or particularly na lang ng DOJ on red tagging?
You actually got it right on the button when you said na wala po tayong firm definition of what red tagging is. There's also a lack of legislation to address red tagging. However, if the definition of red tagging were to be the labeling, the branding, or the identifying of certain leftist group or communist groups or terrorist groups for the purpose of silencing, hindi po yan policy ng gobyerno. It has never been and will never be the policy of the DOJ and the government to red tag for the purpose of silencing critics. Now, under the administration of the Secretary Mulya, under this new administration in DOJ, we've always put a very, very we've given importance to due process. Lahat po ng kaso natin, at a lot of them are also sensationalized, we always afford due process. Kahit meron na tayong ebidensya, pinapadaan pa rin natin sa tamang proseso. Kasi meron naman talagang tamang proseso na that we can find in the rules of court. No? So there's going to be a preliminary investigation, there will be the proper finding of probable cause, and then the eventual filing in court, and all of that, it takes time. And that's what Secretary Mulya always says, we just have to be patient because the wheels of justice, they turn not so fast, but they turn. Diba? So, dumadaan talaga yan sa proseso. We also put a very big emphasis on the freedom of expression, the freedom of media, especially. And I just don't think there's any place for silencing critics in this administration. So, in terms of red tagging, it's too blanket of a term. In fact, like you said, the leftists use it to call out the government on some of their identifying mechanisms. No? And I don't think it's fair. Kasi if they're able to dish it out, they should be able to receive it themselves. Kasi all they do, a lot of them, the propagandists, they destabilize, they erode credibility by their statements. They're very good at it, actually. Pero pag sinabi mong, hindi, you are part of the propagandist movement, dun sila nagagalit. So if you're able to dish it out, you should be able to take it as well. That has always been the stance of the secretary. Pero in terms of red tagging as a means to silence critics, that's never going to be a policy of the DOJ.
Alright.
About tagging somebody as a terrorist.
Well,
Would it be a different thing? Or
same answer, sir. There's a process to be followed. Like,
There's the ATC.
for example, the ATC, of course, they have the power to designate as well as to prescribe, right? So, the first step would be to designate. The only thing that is needed there is probable cause. And yung effect nun is maklip po yung wings nila. Hindi sila makagalaw financially and physically dahil as a result of the designation, nafi-freeze po yung assets ninyo. At yung physical movements is restricted also by the immigration dahil may mga international lookout bulletins, there's an Interpol notice of the designation. Prescription naman, iba po yun. It has to go through court.
Parang wala pa yatang na-prescribe eh. I haven't seen a prescription of somebody who was designated as a terrorist. Does it take long?
It takes a while because it has to go through court proceedings. But before the Anti-Terror Act of 2020 was passed, meron ning prescription in the old law under the Human Security Act. No? And under that law, marami nang na-prescribe. Yes, especially yung mga terrorist groups natin, local terrorist groups like the Abu Sayyaf, the NPA were prescribed already.
Kaya, pati NPA na.
Yes,
Pero itong
CBP,
bagong
NPA.
ATC, yung bagong batas natin, ATL, wala pang na-prescribe.
Wala pa. Kasi bago pa lang, ma'am. And we defended that law in the Supreme Court. Dami kasi 37 petitioners filed a petition to declare it unconstitutional. But the Supreme Court decided that it is absolutely constitutional. Pwera na lang sa dalawang state sentences doon na tinanggal or na-strike. No? Pero it really did not change the essence of the law. So it was upheld as constitutional.
Yeah, immaterial siya dun sa entire Alright. So, malinaw ang sinabi ni Asec Mico about red tagging.
Something na I wanted to clarify. Pag tinag mo na terrorist yung sa an individual, hindi automatic na you can arrest or put them under legal process.
For designation, no warrant of arrest will be issued. The only consequence of designation is yung freezing of assets and possible putting on the list sa International Lookout Bulletin. Pero prescription, because it has to go through the court and yung evidence needed there is much higher, yun, if talagang na-prescribe ka as a terrorist,
May warrant.
then may may consequences yun. So,
accompanying
mere
warrant.
membership in that organization can already be a cause for arrest.
I asked that question kasi kay Congressman Tevez na di ba tinag siya na terrorist?
Designated pa lang eh.
Designated pa
Hindi pa
lang.
prescribe.
So, wala pang you cannot arrest him right now.
Actually, may lumabas na warrant of arrest
Meron na.
in the murder case.
For the murder
Ah,
case,
the
not
murder
for
case,
being
not for
designated.
being terrorist.
So, magkaiba po yun. And those two can run simultaneously. Pwede mong i-designate, which is a purely executive act by the ATC. And then there's the case, the murder case, which is, well, for now, it's already with the court. Kung saan naglabas na ng warrant of arrest.
I see.
Okay.
So he's a fugitive pala.
Yes. We can officially categorize former Congressman Tevez as a fugitive.
Wala bang feelers whatsoever?
We have our intelligence community feeding us with information relevant to his whereabouts. But of course, I cannot mention. Pero I think it will just be a matter of time before he is brought before the court's jurisdiction to be tried for the charge against him.
All right. So, speaking of charge, Asec Mico, so this is about the ICC,
Yeah.
the International
another issue
Criminal
that we
Court. So, ang latest development is it was ordered na i-reopen na yung investigation sa Philippines for the anti-drug war.
Right.
All right. So ano po yung next step? I mean, what is the government doing about this?
Right. Well, the government has, as per the directive of the president himself, to disengage from the ICC. First of all, we are no longer members of the Rome Statute. And then we pleaded with them. Actually, we even participated by, not because we submitted to their jurisdiction, but because out of comity and cooperation, we submitted pleadings asking them to respect our sovereignty. Dahil po yung ICC, makakapasok lang yan kung walang justice system ang isang bansa. A lot of them are those countries found in Africa, for example, na wala talagang gobyerno, wala talagang stability, peace and order is not even thought about. It's a far dream of countries like that. Dito naman, meron naman tayong justice system. We have working courts, we have prosecutors, we have investigators, we have the police, who are all functional. Of course, there are going to be problems. May mga issue yung mga agencies na yan. Pero at the end of the day, it's working. So, the ICC can only come in via the complementarity principle if there is no justice system. Now that we have a justice system and we've established that, they have to respect that. And that is primarily the reason why we need to disengage from them, because what they want is to come in and replace our government essentially. Na sila nagagawa ng investigation, sila na magta-try, sila na lahat. So parang tayo, inutil na tayo. Yeah, exactly. So that's been the stance. However, as a means of siguro offsetting that, we still engage with the international community. We work with the UNODC. We work with these international organizations. We show up to Geneva to explain the issues and concerns, and we receive all the comments, and we take it all to heart. So this engagement still with the international community shows a genuine effort of our government and the DOJ to still cooperate with the international standards of human rights, defending human rights, and all these other issues that have come up over the past years. No? But just not through the ICC.
Alright.
So wala na talagang engagement.
So even if they say
ICC.
na we will
Hindi tayo nag-file, sir, ng appeal.
so even if they say na ito yung recent na we will reopen, I mean it's final, we will reopen the investigation. So wala, no participation from
Well,
the Philippines.
ano yan eh, the mechanisms that they will have to use are the local mechanisms. So papasok sila dito.
Kaya mag-submit sila sa ano. No?
Yes, oo. Or they tap into our resources supposedly. Pero international law is a matter of consent eh. Kung hindi mag-consent ang isang bansa na papasukan ng international organization or the ICC in this case, they also have no resources to use to go around the Philippines and to investigate by themselves.
What if they pass through back channels, or of course they have, meron yan sila mga kakampi dito, or sympathizers, supporters. What if they do that?
Well, I don't think it will be as credible as an investigation as what the Philippine government can do. Kasi we have an intelligence community. We have the police. We have the prosecutors who actually, by the way, have come together because of our recent reforms. Maybe we can talk about that a bit later now. But the resources at our disposal, and if they use back channels, who are they really listening to? Advocates of the other side. It's a one-sided, very
One-sided,
biased
no?
perspective that these people will be giving the ICC if ever they come in through those channels. The better way to do it is to be more holistic, diba? Kasi kung select lang din ang kinakausap nila, you can be very sure na very biased po yung magiging outcome ng investigation na yun because they're being led to specific areas where these leftists probably or propagandists want to exploit or explore para isang side lang ang makikita ng ICC. So it will still not afford these victims and even the perpetrators a fair trial or a fair investigation. But we're doing our job to investigate and to prosecute the perpetrators of alleged human rights abuses.
Nga na-prosecute na doon sa mga complainants doon sa war on drugs.
Marami na, sir. Marami ng police ang naging subject or respondent sa mga kaso. Some of them are in court, some of them are in preliminary investigation. Iba-ibang stage po dahil, syempre, iba-iba yung complexity ng mga cases. No? But our appeal siguro to those who are watching siguro is, if there's any information that will help or aid the government, give it to the government so that we can do something about it. And rest assured, this administration will do something about it.
Ano pa, yung bang sinabi ni SOJ, does it still stay? Yung sinabi niya, if they come here, the ICC, if they come here, then we'll guide them back to guide them back na para sa kanila.
Yes, ma'am. That goes in line with what I mentioned a while ago na it's about consent. So, if we don't consent or agree for them to come, they have no business here in the Philippines as well.
So literally, i-guide talaga pabalik.
I think that is the plan of the Secretary.
Oo. But then, di ba, they need to have, hindi naman sila visa-free. Di ba? They need to secure
Yes,
secure
of
pa a visa.
Entry,
When you go to the Philippines.
Right.
So it's still, the Department of Foreign Affairs will
Approve eventually.
a visa for them.
Yes.
So doon pa lang, baka hindi na sila makakuha.
Oo, baka doon pa lang. Wala tayong consent So then, what
So
basis will
naka-align naman tayo with the DFA, of course.
Yes,
We are
of course,
aware
of
about
course.
it.
We are one voice, we have one direction from the President.
Okay.
So yung mga mangyayari in the process, parang propaganda na lang. Wala kasing mangyayari.
Yes, sir. Oo, and the ICC also has their fair share of issues and concerns brought to light, especially by communities around the world. Yung pagka-African-centric nila, they are, I hate to say it, but some of these communities would dare to describe them as messianic, na parang they're the only people who can solve the problems of the countries around the world. But no, like in our case, we have a working justice system. We have come this far, diba?
Messianic na parang they're God's gift to,
Humanity.
to humanity.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm sure they have good intentions, no? But siguro the methods by which they try to intrude into a sovereign country's jurisdiction might be overstretching it a little bit. So, we hope that, we understand we have the same goal, actually, as the ICC. We want to be able to prosecute. So, instead of replacing the government, let's just collaborate. Let's just help each other. If you have evidence, share it with us. If you have something, we'll share it with you, but not in a hostile manner.
Yeah, na tipong sila lang. Sila yung mag-investigate. Tama si Asec. We have a functioning justice system. Kaya, there's no need for the ICC.
So,
Alright, so
we'll continue with the
marami pang
discussion.
interesting, Asec Mico, to ask you yung tungkol sa ating mga clogged court cases, yung ating congested prisons.
Congested prisons.
Oo. So, babalikan po natin yan, mga katribu, after a short break.
This break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, #Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Conti's Bake Shop and Restaurant, delightfully yours. Globe, atin ang mundo. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you. And Tata Consultancy Services. a wellness show dedicated to empowering viewers with the knowledge and inspiration needed to lead a healthy lifestyle. Be Well Now, hosted by Miss Cory Crino, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. only here at Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Parayan at talakayang showbiz, times 2, doble-doble! Kasama ang dalawa sa walang kupas na talakayan ng showbiz, Alwin Ignacio at Alex Brosas. DTT Show, tuwing Sabado at Linggo, alas 4 ng hapon, dito lang sa Diaryo Tirada ng Daily Tribune. Conversations that are masterclasses from the top honchos of various industries. Learn from their strategies and insights so you yourself can unlock your full potential. Perfect! Every Friday at 2 p.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Creative minds, entertainment icons, style influencers. We shine the spotlight on remarkable individuals who shape our cultural landscape. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
So we're here again, Gigie.
We're back. And we're still with Asec, Mico Clavano. Nag-uumpisa pa lang tayo. A while ago, we talked about the ICC, we talked about red tagging. So now we're going to ask Asec Mico about tungkol dito sa ating mga clog cases. And a while ago, you mentioned nga that may mga reforms na.
Yes.
So hindi na probable cause. Dapat tinaas yung level para maiakyat sa court. So tell us more about this.
Yeah.
Right. Ano yan? There are several reforms being made by the DOJ right now. One of them is what you mentioned, yung pagtaas ng level of evidence needed for a case to be filed in court by the prosecutor. So instead of probable cause, which is basically yung there's reasonable there's some evidence to show that he probably did it. No? In layman's terms na, there's evidence and the conclusion of that by a reasonable man is that he probably committed the crime. Before, okay na yun, file na yun.
Elevate
So,
na sa court.
ngayon, it's higher na. Yung magiging threshold natin is reasonable certainty of conviction. So that requires a bit more evidence to show that he most probably committed the crime. So usually pictures yan, or CCTV footage, or there's an admission. Yung mga ganong klaseng evidence ang tinitignan ngayon ng prosecutor. And that goes hand in hand with another program of DOJ, which is the case build-up rule. The case build-up rule requires now the prosecutors and the police to work hand in hand on the ground. Dati kasi yung prosecutors, because of Rule 112 of preliminary investigations under the rules of court, they just receive complaints from the PNP. They assess it, and then whether they believe may decision na nila. May resolution to either file the case or to dismiss the case. Now, they're required to be with the police dun pa lang sa scene of the crime.
May field work na.
Yes, oo. May fieldwork na sila, boss. So, ang challenge ngayon ng prosecutors, of course, it's a big change, but we appeal to them to understand where the administration is coming from. It will be good for everybody if they, who have interest in the conviction of the person, are there from the very start. Kasi there's a gap Yung police, magfa-file lang yan. Sasabihin, kaso, a point na yan sa akin. That's already an achievement for me that I filed. They don't have an interest in the conviction of the person that they're trying to prosecute. The prosecutor does. The prosecutor wants the person to be convicted because that is the measure of his success. So for him to be there at the very start of the investigation, he can already pick and choose the evidence that is needed to form a strong case. So, and then, when it comes to his assessment, or the prosecutor's assessment, the level is now higher. So, dapat reasonable certainty of conviction na rin. Kasi nandiyan na siya from the start So, dapat lang ang i-expect natin sa kanila, medyo maganda na yung evidence, di ba? A lot of the police, there are some lawyers already in the police, and that's very good because that gives them the legal background to handle cases. But medyo kulang pa. So that's why, for now, we'll have the prosecutors guide them and assist them in choosing and picking which evidence will be very useful in court eventually. So yun po yung magiging bagong dynamics natin ngayon. And it's very exciting. We're doing a caravan now around the country explaining the new reforms to the police and to the prosecutors alike para maganda po yung magiging collaboration nila and synergy nila.
So yung caravan na to, Asec, mga ilang percent na to ang naikot nyo?
Marami na po. Masipag masyado yung mga undersecretaries ko namin na umikot.
Can we say na 50% na? Di pa
I would
na.
say about. Kasi we go to the regions. And
So,
then
sa
yung
Manila, wala pa.
Manila was the first. We held a symposium on the reform way back, siguro 3 or 4 months ago pa, dito sa Diamond Hotel.
Okay. Kasi parang hindi naman nakarating ng Quezon City. I have a personal I have a personal experience. So I'll
So,
just
ask that
I'll
question.
just ask that.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
mean off cam. So
Yeah.
parang hindi yata nakarating ng Quezon City. So anyway, so maganda to. So 50% na. And I
Yes.
hope that they take it by heart.
I hope.
Asec,
This
para
is, a lot of it is a cultural change that we have to make. Kasi yung attitude ng mga prosecutors right now is different, and we have to change the attitude and the perspective and the mindset so that they embrace this change. It's it's very hard. It's very hard to impose change, especially kakapasok lang po namin. It's only been a year and 3 months, so it's very hard actually to impose big reforms, and you will expect that resistance from those who have been used to a certain way of doing their work, no?
Na mas
So,
madali.
I guess, yes. But for the sake of the Filipino people, for the sake of peace and order, for the sake of economic stability even, this is good.
Yeah.
This is very good reform.
And it's also good to our, yung ating mga personnel o yung mga prosecutors, even the judges. Kasi ang end, dyan, is the judge eh. Kasi yung kaso, pupunta sa kanila and then they're nadadump sa kanilang court, sa sala nila, yung pagkadami-daming kaso na hindi naman pala dapat na
Tsaka maiwasan yung mga false arrest or yung mga persons who languish in jail for several years na mali pala yung
So, when do you aim to achieve this itong reform na to in all the judicial institutions sa bansa?
Well, like I mentioned, the caravan we're doing currently, we hope to reach 100% by maybe the end of the year or early next year. The reforms or the department circular institutionalizing these reforms have already been passed. It's about implementing it right now. Another thing that we're doing para mapaganda at mapabilis yung mga proseso sa court is we use the mechanism called the JSCC, Justice Sector Coordinating Council. This council is composed of the DOJ, the DILG, and the Supreme Court, where we talk about issues and concerns by all stakeholders in the justice system. So that way, we're able to exchange notes, we're able to suggest to each other what we can do, and we're able to collaborate, which is the most important. And I think points of collaboration so far have been the rule on preliminary investigation. The Supreme Court has supported our endeavor in taking that rule for ourselves kasi yung rules of court silang gumagawa eh. Diba? That's the whole procedure. Yung Rule 112, there's actually no court participation there. That's the prosecutors only. It talks about the prosecutors. So tama lang din na i-carve out natin yun. DOJ ang gagawa ng bagong rule. At ipapasok na rin natin dyan yung sinabi natin kanina na case build-up rule. Isasama na yun yung tsaka yung pag-akyat ng required evidence for the filing of a case. So that will all be part of the new rule on preliminary investigation, which the DOJ will craft.
Okay, so when is it going to come out?
Very soon, actually, the Supreme Court has already given us a go signal to form a technical working group para bumuo na ng bagong rule.
Under existing prevailing circumstances ba, Asec, how many, sa isang court, isa sala pa lang na isang court, ilang kaso ba ang nandyan? How much can, a branch take?
Well, I'm not sure about the time and motion study of the Supreme Court, no? siguro it'd be better if we ask them for their stats kasi mahirap na. But in our experience, there have been cases where I've read that it really takes, I mean, the courts are flooded with, and some areas even more so, dahil may yung balancing of cases siguro, there are more cases filed in a certain area of this nature. Let's say in Makati, it's all corporate crimes. In the provinces, it's more violent crimes. Yung mga ganun. So, iba-iba po, no? But I can't speak as to how many per branch ang meron.
Ano ba yan? First in, first out?
Supposedly, ma'am. Yes.
Di
opo.
ba? First in,
First
first out. Pero mukhang hindi naman ganun na nangyayari, Asek, di ba? Kasi,
First in, never out.
yeah. Kasi marami dyan taunan
Yes.
I mean, wala ba yan sa policy ng, the DOJ to...
What I think will help with that is the digitalization.
Okay.
Yung court records.
correct,
Doon pa lang sa paghuli.
Oo.
Di ba? Paghuli pa lang, may information na. Kukunin na sa'yo yung ID, yung mga personal circumstances nyo. Dapat same yan na record all the way until conviction. Kasi there were times, imagine, na yung pangalan sa paghuli, iba dun sa nakakulong. Pero same person talaga siya. So parang, how does that happen? Diba? We have to digitalize. Technology is already at our fingertips. We even have artificial intelligence now that can help us. Diba? So to streamline that would be the key. And we have an assistant secretary in the DOJ who's the chief technological officer, a non-lawyer, but in the DOJ. Diba? Mahirap yun. Mahirap makapasok sa DOJ na hindi ka abogado. But he's the chief technological officer who's in charge of digitalizing the whole justice system.
The
So,
whole.
The whole.
justice
It's called the
system.
National Justice Information System, or
Courts
MJIS.
and
So, dun lang,
everything.
Yes.
pati courts, you mean, even the Supreme Court?
It would be very useful for the courts to use the same system. Kasi
Okay.
dun pa lang sa paghuli, andyan na lahat ng information. And then the court records have to be also in that same profile or that same file
Form,
or record for the prisoner eventually when he's already in prison. Kasi we have to see what the penalty was. We have to see what the decision was para that can be taken into consideration in determining yung computation for
Is it really,
Yung
is it
sentence.
being built now?
which one?
Yung database na yan?
Yes,
Na
yes. Oo.
So it's across all.
Yes, and we've already, I think Asec Art has already entered into several MOAs with the different agencies to share relevant information to be put in the system.
Okay. Meron ba tayong timeline, Asek? Gano, kailan ma-realize itong dream na to?
Yeah, well, we inherited a good chunk of it already. There were some digitalization efforts from the past administration.
Oh, yeah.
We're continuing it, and it will probably take a year or two for us to see it in action. Of course, there will be some fixes, some adjustments to be made once it's online, but we can expect na by the end of this administration, this process will be completely streamlined.
Alright. So, good.
Yung mga hearings, kasi nung COVID, ang lahat na ng hearings,
Yeah.
karoon ng parang digital,
Oo,
transformation.
yung video conferencing.
Is it,
conferencing.
does it work?
It works.
I mean, having
It works.
hearings, via Zoom
Yeah,
or...
especially for witnesses. Kasi, let's say, for example, real life, example, may nangyari sa Boracay. And we know na puro turista yung nasa Boracay. May nakakita, witness siya sa isang krimen, isang crime.
But cannot be physically present.
But cannot be physically present kasi umuwi na sa kanyang bahay or umuwi na sa Manila
Bansa.
or sa kanilang bansa. How do you get him or her as a witness in the case? You have no choice but to allow for video conferencing. So it has its practical uses
So
as well.
ngayon, hybrid, pwedeng ganyan ngayon.
Pwede. You just need the consent of the court and the other party.
Yung consent of the
So
court.
open na rin
Yes.
yung court about
Yes.
that, appearing online.
The Supreme Court, the composition of the justices in the Supreme Court now are very progressive. They're very dynamic people. So they understand the need to digitalize. They understand the need to be dynamic, especially in the 21st century, in the modern day.
And it will be good for nature with the loads of documents.
Oo.
And the
That will
gas
be
that you
saved.
use to get to court.
Menos papel, yeah. Yan ang mahirap niyan. Paano maniningil ngayon ng appearance fee ang lawyer?
In what sense, ma'am?
Hindi, kasi diba?
Kasi video conferencing
Kasi
na.
video conference.
So the hours are less, I guess. makatipid ang kliyente, malulugi yung lawyers.
Oh, yes.
But in the interest of justice, I think, okay naman. I mean, they're willing to make that side. In that sense, mas marami silang makakuhang kliyente kasi they have more time. Diba?
Parang ano yan, parang
Patas lang naman.
Padamihan na lang.
Padamihan na lang, quantity na lang.
Gcash na lang.
Ayun.
Hindi, kumbaga sabi nga nila, negosyo i-check. Bali naman sumura, mas madami.
Mas madami naman. Oo,
Alright.
tama.
Ayan.
Tama.
So, ano na? So, tapos na tayo dun sa ano.
Yung sa congestion.
Congestion ng ating
Okay.
mga prisons.
Ng mga penitentiaries.
I love this topic.
Yeah.
Because,
So, ang sabi ni when I last interviewed Secretary Remulla, ang sabi niya, ang ating ang population ng mga kulungan natin, eh nasa 3,000 ba? Excess.
Yes.
In excess.
Over
Capacity.
capacity.
300%.
300%. Sorry.
About. Because the capacity of the new Bilibid prison is actually for 6,000.
Oh. So, given na marami ng PDLs ang na-release, so, ilan na? I'm sure naman bumaba na sa 300.
Yes.
Ano na yung state ng ating
So it's about still high. It's still at 250%. We were able to bring it down from 300%. But it's not enough, obviously. Kasi 250% is still a very alarming amount. Pero ang gusto natin gawin, because the new Bilibid prison is already there. Nandiyan na yan eh. And the capacity is just for 6,000. Pero nakakulong ngayon dyan ay mga 17,000. So the facility is simply not enough to host that many inmates. And what we're doing now is we're regionalizing the prisons. So from one mega prison, which by the way is the biggest in the world, biggest mega prison in the world, kasi
In terms
yung iba,
of population.
in terms of population and facility.
The
regional jails will help, number one, in terms of the space, and two, yung mga dalaw po. Kasi yung iba na nakakulong sa New Bilibid Prison sa Muntinlupa, yung kamag-anak nasa Mindanao or nasa Palawan. Tapos, babiyahe pa sila para lang dumalaw sa kanilang mga kamag-anak. Ayaw natin yun. We want it to be more accessible also. And
to the families?
so that the reformation aspect is emphasized. Diba? And there are so many different ideas because we've actually engaged the services of consultant, Professor Raymond Narag, who used to be an inmate and who was eventually acquitted of the crime that he was charged with, and then dedicated his life to learning about prison reform and criminology. Now, we got him as a consultant. Ang dami niyang insights. If I may share, one, there are three reasons or three basic, I guess, parts to the formula. Yung organizational structure, yung cultural structure, and yung physical structure. So, those three explain why the jail is what it is today. The gang culture, the corruption, the contrabands that are being smuggled inside. By using these three factors and analyzing those three factors, you will understand why ganyan po ang gawain or kultura sa loob ng kulungan. So, he has given us a lot of insight, and if there's any legacy that the Secretary of Justice, Boying Remulla, will leave, it is his prison reform.
Matuloy kaya yung transfer ng Bilibid Prison?
So, saan
Sana
ilalagay
po,
itong
hopefully to the end.
saan ilalagay itong mega prison?
We will eventually lease it out to other government agencies and make it a government center, yung sa Muntinlupa. Kasi mataas na masyado yung value doon. It's right beside a mall,
Oo
there's a
nga daw.
nice highway. So, sayang po yung lupa, no? And given that the facility is already very run down, you might as well just decentralize. Yeah. So, yung balak ho natin, 15 regional jails around the country.
Okay. So,
So, wala-
saan na ililipat yung NBP?
To the regional jails po. Yung
regional.
population na 17,000, ililipat.
Alright.
Isa-
So, wala na sa Manila.
na.
I-distribute na.
Wala na siya sa Manila Asec.
Wala na.
Okay.
So wala nang mega prison.
Wala na pong mega prison. It's better for reformation. It's better for the goals that we want to achieve as a department.
Oo. Matutuloy pa rin ba yung parang Alcatraz type na na prison.
Sorry.
May batas po yun eh.
It's
So
like a
we
very
have to-
isolated.
Yes. We have to do that for those heinous crimes. Those who were charged with heinous crimes and who were convicted of heinous crimes, dun sila mahukulong.
Matutuloy pa rin yun,
Matutuloy po
Asec.
yun.
So, when is it going to, the construction of that?
I don't have the exact timeline with me now. I know that the Director General, DG Katapang, has been working on it and has been consulting with several experts on the design. Kasi tricky yan eh. Walang water supply, walang electricity. So, he's been engaging certain consultants for that. Pero ang pinaka-priority niya ay malipat yung mega prison natin.
So, regional.
Regional.
Yeah, kasi only then, na mabakante yung NBP, only then that they could start, constructing that, facility na ipapalis out.
Exactly. Yes.
Right. So, medyo matagal-tagal din pala, no?
Yes.
Kasi, before kailangan itayo muna yung regional prisons.
15 yun.
15 yun. Oo.
Wala, itayo
15 yun.
muna. Isa wala pa.
There are few already.
Pero may
There are
budget.
few. There
May budget
are,
daw.
I believe, 3 that are up already. Yung budget po yung hinihingi naman sa Kongreso.
So that's for 2024, itong
2024.
budget na
Yes.
dinedeliberate
Yes.
na yun. Alright.
Hopefully they give it to us. Because if you look at the prisons, there are human rights violations being committed just by the sheer lack of space. Na hindi sila makatulog sa gabi.
Oo, inhumane
Yung pagkain, hindi po sapat sa sustenance ng isang tao. So these are things that have to be, these are basic. These are rights of the prisoners. Kahit nakakulong po yan sila, they still have rights. And I think it's indicative of the way we treat our citizens. Diba?
Pwede akong lumipat ng topic.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
About the rice industry.
Okay.
Kasi I believe that you're running after the cartel and
Yes.
traders who are abusing their trade. So, ano na state nito? Meron kayong ipo-prosecute ng mga rice traders?
Yes, definitely, sir. No, the other day, no Monday, there was already a transmittal of the findings of NBI to the DOJ. So, these studies have been long made. In 2014, there was a study already on how the cartels work. And we've just formalized that to make it into a complaint. No? So we're lucky that there's already been past studies. So napadali po yung investigation natin.
Okay.
And very soon you will see these cases filed in court.
How soon?
And hopefully,
Next week?
I would venture in the next few months, maybe in the next couple of months, 2 months, because we're very deliberate because of yung taas ng evidence, yung threshold of evidence. We just don't want to file right away for the sake of filing. We want to make sure that these cases are strong and hopefully airtight, para it could really lead to convictions, because this has affected the Filipino people for the longest time. Kawawa po yung mga magsasaka ho natin who work day and night and then don't even reap the benefits of the high prices. It's only a couple of people, yung mga sindikato lang po, yung mga hoarders and profiteers who will gain from the high prices. Sana okay lang po kung, 'di ba, mataas ang presyo, the advantage goes to the farmers. But hindi. It goes to a select group of people, mga syndicates.
Gaano kalaki yung select group of people?
I don't have exactly the number of respondents with me right now, but you have people in the government who are
In the
involved.
government,
You have people who are part of the private sector involved, and it's a conspiracy. Because you can't also just, as a private individual, hoard and profiteer without the connivance of certain key government officials. Diba? So, meron talaga yan. Meron talaga. And Secretary Mule will not back down from any of these.
How high are these in the government officials, in the government
Well, the investigation has gone up as far as directors.
directors?
Those who are in charge of giving licenses to importers, those who give licenses or accreditation to cold storages. Because dun po yung yun po yung susi na if they are able to control or monopolize cold storage or storage in general,
Okay, yeah.
that's how they can hoard and profiteer of.
Sa vegetables yan. No?
Sa sibuyas po.
Sibuyas.
Opo.
May kasama bigas.
May kasamang bigas din yan. Yun, mas storage lang yun. Doesn't have to be cold storage, di ba? Storage lang yun, yung normal warehousing.
So when are we going to see when are we going to see this people involved na mapafile ng kaso?
Yun, in the next few weeks, we can already divulge.
Okay.
Okay, so
Next few weeks,
meron pa may aasahan tayo in the
Yeah,
next
Yes.
we'll follow that up.
Oo, meron tayong inaasahan in the next few weeks. So,
Si David Tan, ano nangyari doon?
David Tan?
Yung reklamo ni President Duterte dati sa si
smuggling, Bangayan.
Oo, si Bangayan.
I haven't received the report on that. I remember that, pero I would rather have yung verified report siguro before I answer.
Para ang tagal na nun eh.
Oo.
So, ano pa ba ang ating mga before we ito last question na lang natin, Asec. This is about the sex cult.
Okay.
I'm sure hindi lang to sa Surigao kasi I heard kasi usually namamahay to sila sa liblib eh. Yeah, remote. Minsan iba sa kuweba. They convert it into something na, an abode. Etong sa Surigao. So, na-file na ba ng cases or you're still, building the, para mas medyo maano yung kaso?
We have already filed a case through the NBI June 1, 2023, so earlier this year. That was already the subject of our investigation, but now it has been brought to light by Senator Risa, which caused us to look even more deeply into the issue. And we found out that there have been several motions to inhibit prosecutors in that area, in which case we will now endeavor to move the case from Surigao del Norte to Manila because of the importance of the case. No? I think I wrote about this in my column today, and I mentioned there that over and beyond the legal remedies that we have and we are going to pursue, it's really a cultural thing that we have to change. It stems from poverty. It stems from the lack of education of certain children and women in that area. So it must be a whole of government approach. And we are here, the DOJ is here, to prosecute and to put these guys behind bars. But if the culture is going to repeat itself, then our work will never end. And hopefully, we put a stop to it holistically so that we prevent instead of prosecute. It seems like an afterthought pag kinulong mo eh.
Icing on the cake lang.
Icing on the cake, yes, precisely. So it's better to prevent and avoid these sex cults from even cultivating rather than prosecuting them as an afterthought.
Yeah, that's right. So, do you believe that hindi lang ito nag-iisa? I mean, there are more sex cult, across the country.
I believe so. There might be a few others. The secretary has information on that. But we will endeavor to see the whole universe of cases. Maybe there are cases filed against certain groups like this. So we intend to put together a technical working group or a task force to handle cases of similar nature.
All right. Okay. So, mga bata kasi ito.
Oo nga.
Diba?
Kawawa.
Victims are children.
Tsaka yung may hirap.
Yeah, yung mga
na-exploit.
vulnerable, madaling mauto,
Exactly.
All right. So, hingi kami ng parting words mo, Asec, Mico.
Asec.
Sure. Just like my boss always says, we show up to work every day. Our work doesn't stop. We barely get any sleep, but we see the things that we've done over the past year come into fruition already. And it's a good feeling, Of course, there are going to be issues and concerns on the way, but we don't back down from that either. Our policy is to be as transparent as possible to the people as a way to educate and inform them properly so they can make their own proper decisions also. And I guess I'd like to thank you also for helping me part these messages to the people. I hope na may natuto somehow sa mga sinabi natin at na-discuss natin. And I'm looking forward to more opportunities like this.
Yeah.
We look
We look
forward
forward.
to your
Just
column.
the same, we also do. And yung iyong column. So, Again, mga katribo, we thank our guest for being with us and for sharing updates on, the activities or the programs of the Department of Justice. And nakakatuwa that, yung reforms na sinasabi ni Asec
there's a lot
Mico,
of reforms.
yung para declog ng mga cases, makatulong ma-declog ng cases sa ating mga korte, sa police level pa lang at sa prosecutors level. So, thank you.
Thank you, mga katribo. Tune in again next Tuesday to another episode of Straight Talk. I'm Chito Lozada.
And I'm Gigie Arcilla, and thank you for watching today's episode. And we are live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Asec
Chito.
Mico. Thank